Korea's lunar orbiter Danuri has been making headlines in recent days for sending back stunning, surreal images of planet Earth and the moon. Pundits say these impressive images from above are also tangible proof of Korea's standing within the exclusive club of nations with successful moon missions. So where does Korea's space technology stand? What is on the agenda for Danuri this year? How feasible are Korea's plans for a moon landing by 2032 and a Mars landing by 2045? Welcome to Issues and Insiders. Today, we explore the latest on Korea's space exploration and more. For this, I have Professor Paul Yoon, who's also a NASA Solar System Ambassador, live on the line from the US. Professor Yoon, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Good to see you.
I also have Doctor Kang Sung-ju at Gwacheon National Science Museum. Dr. Kang, it's good to have you with us as well.
Thank you for having me here again.
Right. Professor Yoon, I hear the pictures taken by Danuri offer a fresh, fascinating perspective of our planet. Could you tell us more about this new image angle and what is the importance of these latest images?
I think in this new image, we see the Earth rising over the top of the moon rather than the other way around. Also, we see the craters on the moon very closely with the Earth in the background. I think this close-up image will help Korea's space community, science community, as well as NASA to finding future landing site for human lunar explorations.
Right. And Dr. Kang, Danuri's pictures, as I mentioned earlier, they made international headlines as well. Is this attention, Dr. Kang, perhaps tangible proof of Korea's remarkable advances, if I may, in space technology?
Yes, I believe so. Korea has only just begun to develop space technology in earnest. In the 90s, Korea began doing research on the satellite-based technologies. Then in the 2000s, we concentrated on the creation of space launch vehicles. And today, 20 years later, we are the 7th country in the world capable of launching spacecraft independently. In addition, it became the 7th nation to explore the moon. Compared to other countries with advanced space technologies, Korea's space technology has progressed greatly in a relatively short period of the time, and it is still in a stage of the rapid development, I believe. In particular, the Danuri's photograph of the moon and Earth were quite unusual and unique in comparison to earlier photographs obtained far from Earth. These photographs are the product of the researchers' profound concerns, I believe. Danuri was one of the few satellites to travel to the moon with a ballistic lunar trajectory, so it was able to take a picture of the moon and the Earth at the end of the photo frame. The photographs of the Earth behind the moon with the 10 minutes time steps are artistic and unique enough to attract the international attention. Danuri contains 6 lunar observing instruments. Very few satellites are equipped with this many devices, and Danuri aims to monitor the moon and test the new technology such as polarization observation and deep space internet in a manner that has never been observed and done before.
Right. Professor Yoon, let's expand a bit on what Dr. Kang has just said. Could you tell us a bit more about Danuri's mission ahead and its implications this year?
That's right. Danuri has a lot of meaningful activity. I just want to highlight 2 interesting activities. I think first, Danuri will examine the ice water deposit in the lunar polar regions, which is important for preparing upcoming NASA's human missions to the moon. And also what Dr. Kang pointed out about space internet. Why this is important? Because it's going to help broadcasting between Earth and Moon, which will enhance the interplanetary communication capabilities.
I see. And what are the prospects of this space internet technology, Professor Yoon? Do you suppose we can look ahead to this being a possibility in the near future?
I think, yeah, that's right. So currently we have some, when you communicate between Mars and Earth, sometimes we have a delay, a lot of delay and then slow communications. So that really kind of have some negative impact on the space exploration. So if you have a better internet connections, internet capability in space, future mission to Mars or other planetary bodies will be more, the communication will be more improved.
Right, I see. And staying with missions, but moving beyond Danuri, Dr. Kang, Korea's Nuri space rocket, that is, it's poised for a third launch this year. What are your prospects for this upcoming event? And again, what does it prove about Korea's ability with regard to space technology?
The success of the second launch of the Nuri space launch vehicle, which occurred in last year, June, demonstrated our nation's superior space technology once again. Because we used our own technology from start to finish, we were able to swiftly identify the issues that we faced from the first launch and resolve it within 8 months. This triumph became a great asset and a source of the confidence for the third launch, I believe. However, the past successful launch does not guarantee that the third launch will be successful. Nonetheless, it is crucial to us that we have a successful procedure. Unlike the first and second launches, the third launch of the Nuri, slated for the first half of the 2023 this year, has a significant commitment. SNIPE, in Korean Doyoset, CubeSat designed to investigate the space weather and environment, was originally scheduled to launch in last year utilizing Russian space launch vehicles. However, the Russian-Ukraine war rendered the launch of the SNIPE impossible. The Korea Astronomy and Space Science Institution and the government made the extremely audacious decision to launch SNIPE alongside the third Nuri launch. So as a result, I believe that the third launch will be successful by addressing the level sensors and other issues that we faced before and that plagued the second launch for the first try. Notwithstanding its success, also launching the SNIPE with the Nuri can demonstrate our faith in their capabilities to launch spacecraft.
Right. Professor Yoon, Korea's space explorations, or space ambitions, that is, under the Yoon administration include a moon landing by the year 2032 and a Mars landing by the year 2045. How feasible, Professor Yoon, is this agenda?
I think that Korea's moon landing by 2032 and then the Mars landing by 2045 is quite feasible based on the progress rate of the Korea's recent space launching capability. So we know that as time goes on, Korea will have a better launching capabilities enough to reach the moon and the Mars. Furthermore, Korea's mission schedule aligned with NASA's moon and Mars mission timeframe. Why this is important? Because Danuri is a great example of the space collaboration space science community and NASA. By working with the NASA together, I expect that Korea increase its chance to succeed in both Moon and Mars mission on time.
And Professor, compared to its counterparts, is this pace of development by Korea rather fast, would you say?
I think Korea is doing pretty good. We know that as time goes on, next we're talking about the moon missions, upcoming missions after 10 years, almost 10 years, and Mars mission about after
some 22 years, right?
22, 23 years, yeah. So I think Korea has enough time to develop, enhance its capability in launching to the moon and Mars.
And just
I expect personally Korea will make it on time.
I see. And just out of curiosity, Professor Yoon, how many people have been to the moon?
So far, we between 1968 and 1972, through the Apollo mission, 24 people visited the moon. But among those 24, 12 actually landed on the moon, including Neil Armstrong and then Buzz Aldrin. But the interesting is this year, NASA is selecting astronauts who will visit the moon next year. And 2 years from now on, first woman and then first person in color will land on the moon. And after that, more people will go to the moon. So you could expect that the number of moon visitors will continually rise coming years.
I see. So as of now, there have only been men on the moon then? Right, Doctor.
That's right. There have been only the man only land on the moon so far.
I see.
But next 2 years, first woman finally will land on the moon.
Right, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Dr. Kang, the government here has spoken about investing 1.5 trillion won by the year 2027 into space exploration. Could you, Dr. Kang, put this sum into some perspective for us? I mean, is it a lot? Is it not a lot? And do tell us a bit about where this money will be spent.
Since 2013, the size of the Korean government's budget for space development has been increased. The government allocated 700 billion won for space development from 2017 to 2012, which 2022, which is last year. Well, and we have achieved very good results with this funding for the development and launch of the Nuri engine. It is really close to being a fantastic accomplishment. So the government has decided to more than double its investment over the last 5 years in order to become a leading group in space exploration and development with a budget of 1.5 trillion won. This decision was based on the remarkable achievement of the past 5 years. As of the year 2020, our space industry is still mostly focused on development of the space launch vehicles and satellites, and with only 20% of the investment in space explorations, space ecosystem, and industrializations. I believe we can only become an advanced space industry nation if we simultaneously invest in many domains of the space industry that I just mentioned, along with the development of the space launch vehicle and satellites, as well as the private sectors. So compared to other countries such as the United States and Japan, our budget is 1/7 of the United States and 1/5 that of the Japan. Although we cannot keep up with all the investment in developed nation at once, we aim to achieve rapid growth if we steadily raise our investment.
Right, I see. Professor Yoon, now amid these grand plans by the government here, there is some concern that the young in Korea are simply not interested in space. In fact, a survey by a British company last year showed that globally, only 14% of those aged between 18 and 24 want to work in the space industry. What do you propose to promote greater interest, perhaps, in space among the young?
Yeah, I think it's very important that space community together, they need to work together to promote interest in space among young children. I think NASA is doing pretty good in the United States. So let me share some of the example of what NASA is doing. NASA scientists and engineers and astronauts, they visit local school, library, or museum to share their exciting space project activity with the children. So they're very, very active. Also, if you go to NASA's website, NASA offer all kinds of activities that could draw the interest from the kindergarten through 12th grader, college, and the graduate students. So any age group can find their activity. So for example, young children can play online space puzzle, space computer game, or they can build a space simple space rocket using straw. And the middle school teenagers, they can do coding, something they're interested in. Making some space game. Also, NASA hold a lot of competition for high school students and college and graduate students to promote such as robot competition. So also, I think I want to just highlight one more time. In the United States, Mars rovers will be named by elementary through high school students. So the Perseverance rover, which is active on the Mars, actually was named by 7th grader students, Alex Mothers. So I think NASA has set a good example how to promote this space interest among the young children.
I see. And the interest should be promoted from when they're quite young then, right?
Yes. So through any age, I think what's really important is inspire them, catch their interest. If something clicked to their mind, they'll continue their interest in space.
Right.
So I think we need to provide whatever we can.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kang, the same survey that I mentioned showed that 97% of the young globally were fearful of the impact of the space industry, with much concern about space junk, space debris that is, and its impact on the Earth's atmosphere. Now, are these concerns well-founded? And if so, what is being done to address them?
In truth, we can assert that the space debris or the impact to the Earth's atmosphere have no effect. It is also true that space debris poses a serious hazard. A few days ago, the entire nation in Korea received a warning message stating that the U.S. satellite ERBS was on the crash and the South Korea was on the predicted route. However, the majority of the space debris large enough to cause an impact is being monitored. 70% of the Earth's surface is water, and the population habitable places is extremely small among remaining 30% of the land. Therefore, if you are vigilant, falling space debris is not a cause for concern. But we're still launching satellites, but space debris must be taken into account, although it is not a significant issue for the launch itself. In order for young people to have an accurate understanding of the space environment, it is vital to shift their perception of space from one of the fear to one of the interest and possibilities through educating them on the role and possibilities of the space industry.
Right, of course. Professor Yun, last year, NASA conducted a historic test of man's ability to protect Earth from a potentially catastrophic collision with a space rocket. Could you tell us a bit more about this amazing achievement and its broader implications?
Yes, last year in September 26th, the NASA spacecraft called DART, it intentionally crashed into the asteroid, and it shortened the asteroid's orbiting time by 32 minutes. What does that mean? Now we're capable to deter any asteroid that could impact on Earth. Why is it important? Because I think I just want to highlight two incidents. Science community believed that 65 million years ago, asteroid the size of 10 to 15 kilometers crashed into the Earth, and then scientists believe that about 70% of the life extinct due to this asteroid impact, including dinosaurs. So recent year, 1908, another asteroid size of 30 meters impact on the remote region in the Siberia, Russia, and it really demolished about 80 million trees. So we imagine that what if that impact happened on the city? So this is going to be pretty dangerous to our safety-wise. So that's why this recent asteroid impact mission is important to us, because we prove that we can protect humanity from potential asteroid impact.
Right, it was impressive to say the least, of course. Dr. Kang, NASA has also spoken about plans to study UFOs. How do you respond, and what are your thoughts on UFOs?
This is a very interesting question. This is also the question I receive most frequently as an astronomer. UFOs are the first and foremost unidentified flying object, which is called a UFO. This means that if we cannot immediately identify a phenomenon or an object in the air, we are dealing with the UFOs. That's what NASA trying to deal with. However, the majority of the UFO sightings are eventually identified. Many individuals associate with the UFOs with the aliens. Actually, I believe that's due to the influence of the science fiction films or television shows. If the known rules of the physics apply to the entire universe, I believe it is nearly impossible for alien spacecraft to reach Earth. So NASA is actually current investigation of the UFO is merely an endeavor to detect the area of phenomena which we have not yet comprehended based on extensive scientific evidences. It does not imply that we will investigate aliens. NASA said that it would research UFOs while explaining their purpose by adopting the name unidentified aerial phenomena instead of the UFOs, due to the widespread belief that UFO is equal to alien.
I see. So you don't believe in aliens then. What about you, Professor Yun? What are your thoughts on the presence of aliens, very briefly speaking, before I ask you my next question?
I agree, though, that Dr. Kang. I think, at least I know that in our solar system, I don't think there is advanced aliens, because I'm pretty sure Earth is the only environment that could support complex life organisms like a human. And so I don't think there's alien in our solar system, but who knows what. But
Right,
I believe there's a great chance, as a mathematician, I believe there should be other complex organism out there, very far away from our solar system.
And
That's my personal thought.
Right then, moving forward, Professor Yoon, some say a better awareness of the immediate benefits of space exploration for humanity will serve to perhaps encourage greater interest in the field. Now, that being said, what can you share with us about the medical advancements made possible owing to space research?
Yeah, quite a lot. I think, first of all, by studying a space effect on the astronauts since last several decades, we now better understanding about blood circulation and how to prevent some of the heart failures. Also, we better understand about bone disease, including bone loss, and also mental health too. Also, through space exploration, we develop a lot of medical procedures such as a heart pump, a programmable pacemaker, and digital imaging to detect breast cancer for women. And also a third, internationally well-known, I think, drug companies like Merck, they're actually developing cancer medication treatments. So in microgravity environment, we could make a better medication. So you could see that a lot. In Korea, there's a company, Podium. I think they're also interested about space research.
Right, I see.
For their medical medication developments.
Right. And Dr. Kang, what can you tell us about the new technologies that space research promises, very briefly speaking?
For example, like there are many examples looking for the technology that analyze air pollutions generated by Earth's temperature and fine dust, which is a social concern, employs models and techniques that were originally used to study the atmosphere of the Venus in order to examine the effect of the atmospheric particles on our health and climate, such as everyday life, a vacuum cleaner or the vacuum cleaners or the microwave oven. Those are the products that driven by the new technology of the space.
Right, I see. So, and we can probably look forward to some more in the near future then. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Professor Yoon over in the US and Dr. Kang here in Korea. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, well, on that note, we say goodbye. Thank you for watching and do join us again same time on Friday.